Let's take a little twirl around the rink with a morning skate edition of the Inside Edge. Here are your hosts, Bob McElligott and Jody Shelley.
Back at Nationwide Arena today, the Blue Jackets with a huge game on the schedule tonight, taking on the Detroit Red Wings. Both teams with 71 points coming into this game tonight. Blue Jackets hold the tiebreaker going into the game, but it won't matter if the Red Wings get a win and come out with 2 points this evening. Jody, let's start with last night's events that happened in Dallas with Rich Peverly. Well, first of all, you were right there beside the Dallas Stars bench when it happened. It had to be just as shocking for you as it was anybody else in the building.
Well, it was pandemonium right away. The play was going on, and as that was happening, I saw Lindy Ruff and Jamie Benn. Jamie Benn was still on the ice with Ray Whitney, and they were like screaming, "Stop! Stop! Stop!" And so I kind of looked over, and I saw a player in trouble on the floor of the bench, kind of bent over. And so then I kind of joined in the action. Yeah, I'm down there. I'm between the benches. So, sometimes I feel like I'm in the way or whatever. But in this moment, I was you just try to help out. So I just, you try to yell, "Stop, stop, stop." Finally, the game stopped. And then you could see the trainer down there immediately assisting Rich Peverly, who was now on his back, and they were trying to carry him out. They did carry him out, carried him through some doors, and got him through there. I kind of followed that out of there. I was trying to get out of the way. And as I did that, I stopped, and I turned back, and I looked through the tunnel, and you could see the players and the concern on their face. And, I spoke with one of the players, and that's when they let me know that he had a heart problem. And that's when it got real serious, and I could tell. You could just sense it down there. There was a lot of players just with Rich Peverly and hoping and praying for the best for him behind those doors. So we got through that, and they canceled the game. And then before we left last night, we found out that there was positive news for him. Things are going to be fine. He responded very well to what the medics did to him with that electric shock. So they were enthused during the press conference. So all these things made us feel good when we got on the plane and came back here last night.
I feel that there are other sports that may have continued that game. I can't say that for sure, but I think the culture of hockey is just one that you knew as soon as it was something as serious as that game was not going to be resumed whatsoever. And can you talk about from being a former player, the fact that you're only divided by the color of the sweater that you're wearing. When something like that happens, everybody's a hockey player or everybody's in the hockey family. And all you're worried about is that person. You're not worried about the game.
Well, yeah, it's funny. You can battle, you can fight, you can yell, you can, wish bad upon others when you're playing hockey. But when it stops for something that's real life like that, everything else means nothing. I mean, that's really what it was at. I mean, honestly, the vision of those players standing there in their equipment, just looking with huge amount of concern on their face, it was just reflective of where we were at and what we were doing. And yeah, the awareness of the professional athletes, and I would hope that I can generalize here and say that that professional athlete world and that attitude is shared amongst them all. That hey, you know what, there's something serious here, and we're going to postpone this game.
Well, we're not going to postpone this game tonight. The Blue Jackets and the Red Wings are going to go toe-to-toe. The Blue Jackets have had recent success against the Red Wings. When you go back to last year, they won the season series. It had been a while since that had happened. But this game is for that playoff spot right now. So both of these teams are very focused. The Detroit Red Wings don't have a full lineup, but neither do the Blue Jackets have a full lineup right now. Red Wings, I'm sure, would argue that Henrik Zetterberg and Pavel Datsyuk being hurt, those are two pretty big pieces. But that's life in the NHL, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, and if you look around the league, seriously, there's been teams all year long that have had these moments and these things. So you look at the Pittsburgh Penguins, just a couple hours away. That's a team that is one of those elite teams, and they've had some injury troubles. And when these things happen, you either pull together and look at your depth to rise, or you sink. And I think you talk about the Pittsburgh Penguins and the Detroit Red Wings. You have a culture and an attitude and a kind of a way with how it works there, and that's a credit to what they've built. And so they've been able to pull guys in and keep the ship moving the same way. I've always said that you can plug anyone in their locker room because the way that it is there, you're either in or you're in the way. And I think the same goes for Pittsburgh. They haven't fallen off too much from where they started, of course, with some of the injuries they've had. But, you know, and you look at a guy like Letang, that's a big part of their team and their defensive core. And Malkin's been out, and there's been different situations. James Neal's been out. So those different things, you react, and people have to step up. And I think the Blue Jackets have done the same. So, yeah, the Blue Jackets are aware of injuries and how people have to step up. I don't think they look at this lineup without those two big guns in Zetterberg and Datsuk not playing and have any less respect for the Detroit Red Wings.
Blue Jackets are going to go with the same lineup tonight, with the exception of the goaltender. Sergei Bobrovsky, as expected, will return in between the pipes. What do the Blue Jackets have to do? The situation they were in last night, you and I have talked off the air for the last couple of weeks about this day, because on paper it was the Blue Jackets playing Dallas. You're not going to get home till about 2:30 in the morning. Then you have to play the Red Wings in what's going to be a huge game. Well, as it turns out, with the events that went down, the Blue Jackets got back at 12:30 last night, not at 2:30. How does all of that factor in for them, and does it play any part of what they have to do to win this game?
Well, here's what. I bet they didn't get to sleep any sooner. There's, once you decompress and get in bed and realize what went on this night and why you're home early, it's a pretty sad, serious thing, I should say. But those are factors. But you got to be realistic. Dallas was the team last week that was flying in that the Jackets jumped all over in the first period. So the situation arises for the Jackets. They have to learn from what happened to Dallas last week when they got here late. They traveled in late. They had a terrible first period, or the Jackets actually credit the Jackets for jumping all over them. The Jackets can't let that Detroit Red Wings do that to them tonight, because that is definitely a part of the plan for the Detroit Red Wings. Their first key is to jump on the Jackets, who are on the second of a back-to-back with travel.
All right, should be a great one here tonight at Nationwide Arena. The puck will drop at 7 o'clock. Jody will be on Fox Sports Ohio. I will be on the Blue Jackets radio network. That'll do it for today's Morning Skate edition of the Inside Edge.
You've been listening to the Morning Skate edition of the Inside Edge. Come back every game day to get the breakdown from Bob McElligott and Jody Shelley.